Go. Amar Reb Shimon Ma'aseh B'Tavi Avdei. Tanya Amar Reb Shimon Misichasei Shem Gamliel Lamadno Kama. From the chatting of Reb Gamliel, we have learnt Shnei Dvarim, two things, Kama. Lamadno, we have learnt. Amar Reb Shimon Ma'aseh B'Tavi. Tanya, Kama. Amar Reb Shimon. Says Reb Shimon, Misichasei, from the chatting, from the speaking. Shar Reb Gamliel, of Reb Gamliel, Kama. Lamadno, we have learnt. Shnei Devarim, two things, comma. Lamadno, we have learned. Number one, Shavadim Pturim and Sukkah, that Avadim are part from Sukkah, because when Reb Shimon said over the story of Reb Gamliel said that Tavi, well, depends which one. Shnei Devarim, comma. Lamadno, comma. Shavadim Pturim and Sukkah. Number one, Shavadim Pturim and Sukkah. Number one, comma. Velamadno, and we have also learned. Someone who sleeps under the bed, is not being yotza. Why? From the fact that he said that of Tavi sleeping under the sukkah, number one was potam sukkah. The fact that he knew his potam sukkah, that's why he slept on the sukkah. Both of these points are a raya that number one, Eved is potam sukkah, and hence, therefore, he slept under the sukkah, and he slept under the bed that he wasn't bothered about the sukkah. And number two, also, it's only because he was potam sukkah that he slept under the bed. However, if he was mechuyev b'sukkah, he wouldn't be allowed to sleep under the bed, which is to imply that someone who's mechuyev b'sukkah cannot sleep under the bed. So ask the Gemara now. So full stop. Ask the Gemara now. Question: Velema. The Brisa should say midvarav Sharem Gamliel question mark. It shouldn't say misichasai, it should say midvarav. Why do you use the lashon of sicha? Sicha is more sicha kala, it's more light talk, and dvarav means his drosha, his speech. Says the Gemara Teretz, also agav urchi kamash malon kama. Agav, it's telling you, by the way, it's telling you a chiddush. Ki ha da amar Rav Acha ba'ada, like this that Rav Acha ba'ada said, comma. Va'amri la, and some say, comma. Amar Rav Acha ba'ada, Rav Acha ba'ada said it. Amar Rav Hamnuna in the name of Hamnuna, Amar Rav in the name of Rav. Minayin, how do we know? Sha'afilo sichas Talmid Chacham, that even the light talk, the shmoozing, the light talk of Talmidei Chacham, tzricha limud, one has to learn out from them. Because it says in the pasuk Shanema, it says in the pasuk open quotation, v'alehu, and its leaves lo yibol, do not wither, close quotation. Which is to say that the pasuk there is talking about Talmidei Chacham, as the beginning of the pasuk Perek is. See, he goes in the ways of Hashem. Then such a person is like a tree on the riverbed. He gets lots of water, and his fruit are very good fruit. And even not only his fruit, which is the main thing of a person, but his leaves, which is just the sicha kala, the light talk, is also lo yibel, not withered. It's also a helpful part of him. Okay, full stop. Now we're starting a new Mishnah, a new Gemara, a new everything. For those who are not here and will be listening afterwards, we're starting a new Mishnah. The Mishnah starts Hasoymech Sukkasoi Bekari Hamita. Yes, we've got Mishnah Chafal on the base. Hasoymech Sukkasoi Bekari Hamita. Somebody who leans. Hasoymech means he leans, he balances. Sukkasoi, his schach. Bekari Hamita, on the posts of a bed. Kashera, it is kasha. So if you can imagine, he's got a bed, he's got 4 posts, he builds a wall on the actual bed, round the bed, and then he puts the schach on it. All
on the corner of the bed.
Kari Hamita means on the posts of the bed, which means that he puts all the wall and the schach all on the bed. Tanakama hold kashera, it is kosher. Full stop. Rabbi Yehuda Eimekama, Rabbi Yehuda says, Im eina yechoy lalamid, if it cannot stand bifnei atzma by itself, Priscilla, it's possible, and the Gemara is going to explain what exactly Rabbi Yehuda means by eini yechoy lalamid. But the simple pshat is, if it cannot stand by itself, the sukkah cannot stand by itself, meaning if you would take the bed away, then there'd be a problem with the schach, the sukkah would fall down, the schach would fall down, the walls would fall down, means it needs the bed to hold it up, then it is possible, and the Gemara is going to explain what is the reason of Rabbi Yehuda. Says the Gemara, my time at Rabbi Yehuda question mark. What is the reasoning of Rabbi Yehuda that he says that a sukkah which can't stand by itself and it's on the bed is a problem? Pligiba, comma, Reb Zera, Reb Abba Mamamal, comma. Reb Ab Zera and Reb Abba Mamamal argue. Chad Amar, one of them says, Mipnei she'ein la keva, because it doesn't have keva. Full stop. Now, just as a footnote, this is the Shittas Rabbi Yehuda we said earlier, who holds that a sukkah has to be a fixed kind of permanent kind of living, and therefore a bed which you can move around is not called a fixed kind of fixture. It's not called a permanent kind of living space, and therefore it is possible. So that is one man that explains the reason why there's a problem with having your sukkah leaning on the bed is because your bed can be moved around, and if the sukkah is fixed to the bed, it also gets moved around, and therefore it's not a fixed, permanent living space. That's number one. V'chad Amar, the other man that Amar says, because Shema Mida, he's holding it up B'dava hamakabel tuma, full stop. A bed is a davar makabel tuma, yeah? If anything which is ro'ui for medras, anything which can be sat on or lay on, is makabel tuma, and therefore he may not make a sukkah being held up by a davar makabel tuma. And the reason for this is, according to most Rishonim, the reason for this is because you're not allowed to use a davar makabel tuma for schach, right? Now we're worried that if you use something to hold up your schach with a davar makabel tuma, then you won't realize that you're not allowed to make schach, and you'll hold it up with davar makabel tuma. You also come to make your actual schach out of davar makabel tuma, and that is a problem because you're not allowed to use the davar makabel tuma. Anything which can become makabel tuma is not allowed to be used for schach, and therefore they didn't want you to use it to hold up the schach either, because they were scared that you're going to be mixed up and start using it for the schach itself. So two pshatim in Rabbi Yehuda, either because it's not fixed, you can move around the bed with a schach on it, with a sukkah on it, and the other pshat is because it's being held up, the schach is being held up by something which is makabel tuma, and we're not allowed to use a davar makabel tuma to hold up your schach, because you might come to use it for the schach also. My beinayu kama. What is the difference between these two pshatim? Kugoin, for example, shenot shavudin. He fixed posts, shel barzel, made out of metal, so he stuck them into the ground. V'sichech alehem, and now he put the schach on top of these posts in the ground. So the man according to the man lefi she'ena keva, that the reason why you can't use a bed is because the bed is moved around, and therefore it's not called a fixed, permanent living space. Hare yesh la keva. When you use these metal posts, then it is called fixed, yeah, because the posts were going to stay in the ground, and you can't move them around. V'sichech aleim, and he put schach on top of them. Shvoidin shabaus posts made out of metal. V'sichech aleim kama, and he put schach on top of them. So the man kama, according to the man that said lefi she'ena keva, the problem of making a sukkah on a bed is that it's not a fixed, permanent living place. Then this four-posted metal sticks in the ground, hariyesh lakeva, yeah, these posts are fixed into the ground, they ain't going nowhere, you're not going to be able to move them, and therefore it's called fixed. Or man da'ama, however, according to the man da'ama that said the problem of using a bed is you're not allowed to use something which is makabel tuma to hold up your schach, then these metal posts are also makabel tuma, and therefore there'll also be a problem. Harem amida b'dava makabel tuma, full stop. So again, we had two reasons why Rabbi Yehuda said the sukkah is a problem. Either the sukkah on the bed is a problem because it's movable, you move it around. If that's the case, that's the problem. Then when you've got metal sticks stuck into the ground which can't be moved around, then it's absolutely fine, you're good to go. However, if the reason of Rabbi Yehuda is the reason why you shouldn't be using a bed to hold up your schach is because it's makabel tuma, and you're not allowed to use something which is makabel tuma to hold up the schach, then the same problem will be when you put four metal posts in the ground and put your schach on top of that, because metal posts are also makabel tuma, and then we've got exactly the same issue that you are holding up your schach with a davar hamakabel tuma. Let's just finish off a short Gemara. Omar Abaya, comma. Says Abaya, Loi, sorry? We'll go over it, okay? Loi shanu ella. Yeah, are you? Okay, should we go over that Gemara again? No, we can go over right now. My time with Rabbi Yehuda. Yeah, we're going all the way back from my time with Rabbi Yehuda. My time with Rabbi Yehuda, question mark. What is the reason of Rabbi Yehuda? Rabbi Yehuda says in the Mishnah, somebody who puts schach on his bed, on a sukkah made on his bed, it's not good. My time with Rabbi Yehuda. What is the reason of Rabbi Yehuda, question mark? Pligi ba, Reb Zera, Reb Abba Bamamel, comma. Here, Pligi ba, Reb Zera, Reb Abba Bamamel, comma. Reb Zera, Reb Abba Bamamel argue. Chad Amar, one says, Mipnei she'ein la keva, full stop. One man, the Amma explains the reason of Yehuda why you can't put your schach on top of your bed as your sukkah is because the bed is a movable thing, and therefore it will not be considered a sukkah, which is keva, which is a fixed, permanent living space. V'chad Amma, and the other man the Amma says, Mipnei, because Shema Mida, he's holding it up, B'dava hamakabel tuma, full stop, with something which it can be makabel tuma, and you can put as a footnote, and we're worried that if he holds up the schach with a davar makabel tuma, he'll come to use a davar makabel tuma for the schach itself. Right? Yeah? We're worried. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Mai beinahu. So now we're going to try to find the difference between these two pshatim. What's the nafka minute? If the reason is because it's movable, or the reason is because it's a dava hamakabel tuma. Kagoin, yeah. Kagoin, the answer. Kagoin. An example of a difference between these two will be Shanat Shvudin Shabarzan. He's stuck Shvudin Shabarzan into the ground. V'sichich aleim, and he took four metal posts, let's say, and he stuck them into the ground, and he put schach on top of those 4 metal posts. Comma. V'sichich aleim, comma. Right, so the man according to the man according to the man who holds that the problem of a sukkah on a bed is that it's not a fixed, permanent living space, hariyesh lakeva, this 4 metal posts stuck in the ground is called fixed, and therefore it'll be okay. However, according to the man the problem with a bed is that you are holding it up. The bed is holding up the schach, and the bed is a davar makabel tuma. Then these 4 posts, Harry Mamida, b'davar makabel tuma, by a 4-post metal post, you're also holding it up with a davar makabel tuma, because the metal posts are things which are makabel tuma. Okay, we're going to stop right over here, and we'll do chazara.